So I'm here actually to go over a character who's coming out soon for Samurai Shodown, and that character is my absolute favorite character in the series, his name being Basara. So let's cover my boy, and right. So for those of you guys who don't know, he's not out in Samurai Shodown yet. He is one of the DLC characters who has been confirmed, and hopefully you can get sort of like an idea on the screen as to what kind of character he is, you know? So basically Basara kind of functions pretty differently from all the other Sam Show characters. For example, he doesn't really have a DP. You know, some characters have that in common with him. He doesn't really have a DP, but he does have a very good jab. This particular attack this is basically his get off me tool. It's pretty safe. Obviously, it's not a weapon, so you can't really deflect it. And to be honest with you, he doesn't really recoil very often, right? Like this is his far medium. It's kind of like a pseudo projectile. And you notice it doesn't have recoil. It is punishable by certain characters. The low version is just, you know, it's the similar version of the move. And his heavy is a far-reaching normal that actually is very good for punishment. Don't be underwhelmed by the damage in this game. This is Samurai Shodown 5 Special. So in this game, your damage is rated by a little meter under your health bar. You can see that little orange meter. Basara's head is pretty close by it right there. It kind of like has this wavy stuff. You see when I use an attack, the meter goes down, right? So the higher it is, the stronger your attacks are, which means that in this game it's more important to make your shots count than to just, you know, go for attacks all the time like in the new one, right? So Basara, yeah, don't underestimate his damage. His damage is actually quite good. It's one of the best parts of him. So I'm going to go over a few of his moves. He's kind of a space control, rushdown, like movement mix-up character. You'll see this is his dash, by the way. You see that it like makes him invisible. This forward dash, this back dash, right? He has standard. This is basically the cookie cutter move he has. It's a standard Basara move. It's basically synonymous with him. The standing one is practically safe. He has a jumping version of it, actually. So you'll see this. It actually comes out very fast. It's very risky to try. This makes it very risky to try to anti-air him because he can kind of just stop his momentum on a dime, and he can catch you on the way back. And the damage is quite good. And you see how fast it is, right? And he has one to stop jump-ins as well, but the standing one is good enough. Like another thing is this is very active. You see it'll catch. I'm gonna do the farthest one, and you'll see that it'll catch him on the way back. You saw that? So yeah, the move's very active. It's very hard to deal with. Now that alone would be something that's, you know, it's not amazing, but you know, it's a good tool. But then you throw it in with this other projectile, which is the Nuedama or the puffball. This is a slow-moving homing projectile. You see, it'll follow my opponent wherever they are on the screen. You saw how it circled back there. You can actually get hit confirms with this. So Poppy is for in the same way that Poppy is for, say, Galford. That ball is Basara's. That's really his pressure tool. And the great thing about that ball is, even if you get hit, the ball is still going to be active. It's still going to be active. It's still going to be there. So there are times where, like, you know, you'll get hit with like one hit of a multi-hit move. Like, say Hamaru DPs me, and you know, I'll just get hit by the first hit. The puffball could still connect. So it's a very scary move to deal with. It's very oppressive. I don't know if it'll stay the same as it did in previous, you know, in this game, but it could. You never know. So moving on from there, he has a DP. It doesn't really function in the same way that DP would. It's more of a whip punishment tool. So it's literally 623 and slash. That's the medium one. No, sorry, that was the light one. This is the medium one, and the heavy one seems to have a bit faster startup. But to be honest with you, the three moves have, in this game at least, the three moves have basically even damage across the board. There's really no difference between them, so there's no real reason to use the heavy one. And the thing about this move is you don't really want to throw it out as a read, because if your opponent's even moving forward a little, if they're just walking forward, like, the DP will whiff. It tracks to the previous location. It doesn't have the best tracking. So yeah, just moving forward or moving backward will cause it to whiff, and then that's, you know, it's definitely more intentional for whiff punishment. Like big whiff punishment from afar. I can imagine if he keeps the move, that characters like Galford, characters like Wu, any character that has zoning is gonna have an issue dealing with him, because he can just, you know, he can just close the distance like that, and he doesn't want to really stay in as much. You know, he's definitely a hit and run character. He's kind of like Vega from Super Turbo, but there are a few differences here. You know, like, but he is definitely a hit and run, same way that Vega is. So he also has something to add to the mix-up with this. You know, he has this great command throw, which has very good damage for this game, and I assume it'll have decent damage in the new one, on par with pretty much everyone else's command throw. Comes out pretty fast. He pulls you into the shadow, and there you go. Now, you saw the mix-up I did earlier where I did Noedama, you dash up, and right there I mixed it up with an overhead. But you can catch them before the ball hits if they're trying to block the ball, and go for the command throw. Right, so it's pretty good. You can also make certain things safe with the Nuedama, so right there if you would have blocked, you know, the ball would have made it so that I was still safe. So yeah, Basara is, you know, he's not so much about going in all the time. He's kind of about like messing with you from afar. He's kind of about like baiting you into doing things. He has these fake movement options, right? He can do fake jumps, fake walk, you know, fake, let me see, fake dash. Oh, this is overhead, by the way. It's not bladed, so you don't have to worry about getting deflected. He's probably not going to get deflected very often, to be honest with you. So yeah, he has this fake dash, fake back jump. Excuse me for 1 second. Alright, so he has a fake back jump. Oh, he also has this sort of pseudo teleport. It's not the best move. You can be hit on the way up or the way down, but it is, you know, you can cancel into it from like close normals. Oh, speaking of that, Basara doesn't have a lot of cancelable, he doesn't have a lot of cancelable normals, and you're not really going to be going for, like, close cancels, because he doesn't really get anything off of cancels. Whiff canceling is more his thing, like, you know, like, he really has one whiff cancelable normal that you're going to use, assuming it makes it to the new game, and that's his running medium. So this is an overhead. This move is an overhead, and it's part of his running mix-up. Yeah. I'm trying to get it to block. There you go. So yeah, this move is an overhead. So he has, you know, he has that overhead. He doesn't really need to go run stop into the neutral one, right? So the reason this move's so good is you can cancel the startup. Cancel the startup into a command throw. I'm trying to get it here. So okay, sorry guys, I'm playing on a PS4 controller so that I can record this, and it's I'm used to using like a fight pad. Oh, see, you see there that I canceled into. Okay, there you go. He can cancel into the command throw, which is it makes the mix-up even scarier. And he also has a good running low, which is you know, a running kick. So the great thing about his running kick, stationary, which means that it might be, you know, assuming that they don't change that in the new game, it might be hard to punish. Again, he has a litany of overheads. This is forward kick. His forward kick is like this little axe kick here. His regular kick is this weird anti-air that you're really only going to use as an anti-air. But even then, like, you know, you have this to cover you. You have this. You have all of these to basically, like, there's very little reason to jump in on Basara. It's very scary to jump in on Basara. Never mind the puffball. The puffball keeps you, you know, the puffball kind of keeps you grounded. The Shisashi, which is I believe the name of this special, you know, like this thing stays so active, and it's just so hard to jump in on him. He really is a truly airborne character in terms of like sort of his pressure, because he has one of the best jump-in heavies in the game. Which is, look at this thing. This thing is, look how fast it is, and this how easy it is to. You saw how plus I was on hit after that. You saw how long I had to like confirm into something. I can't DP, obviously. You know, his DP is not great. But you can go for like a medium or something like that. Now you might think, okay, well I can't really confirm in anything. I don't really have any combos with Basara, so you know, what's the point of that jumping heavy? Why would I want to hit it deep? Well, if you're in rage, which by the way, when he's in rage in this game, he's in rage for 20 seconds, which is a huge amount of time, and it doesn't even take that long for him to get in rage. He's really meant to be in rage a majority of the time. And he gets really good damage off rage. So let me show you like some of the dirtier stuff he can do here. So if you get the puff ball, you can actually hit confirm the ball into his weapon flip. And by the way, his weapon flip, you just saw it there. His weapon flip is it's one of the best in this game. It's actually invulnerable to melee attacks at startup. You see he has a little like backswing blow. It covers the full screen. So I don't know if they'll change that in this game, but there are setups for it. Let me see. Let me get him get a sword. You'll see that I'll be able to combo after the oh, I didn't do it deep enough. Let's see. I got the hop. There you go. It's not even very hard. Like you can visually see how Maru reel back and go straight into it. It's one of the fastest starting weapon flips in the game. Again, it's melee invulnerable, so if he presses an attack, like you see that little backswing there, you can literally throw this out, you know, in the scramble, and it can win you games. It's a dirty move. But yeah, like it's based on the trailer for the DLC. I don't know if they'll change the properties of the move, but it looks like it's the same weapon flip. Very strong move. Again, one of the absolute best in the game. So very little reason to think they'll change that. And then he has these little, like I said earlier, he has these little movement feints. You know, he has a fake back jump, fake forward jump. So there is a way to tell, you know, in this game at least, there's a way to tell if it's a fake. Which, you know, you notice here like the camera didn't change, right? But if I jump in, the camera kind of tracks my positioning. But yeah, he's definitely a unique character. I think out of all the DLC characters that are coming out, besides Wanfu, he's definitely the most unique of the bunch. Kazuma or Kazumi, I forget his name. I think it's Kazuma. Kazuma's a pretty straightforward, you know, main character kind of character. Shizumaru, same thing. He does have a few gimmicks. Rimururu, I guess, you know, she's kind of like her own thing. But yeah, Basara and Wanfu, I think, are the two characters who are really going to stand out to a lot of people. So yeah, like I said, you can. By the way, you can actually use this to. You can actually use this to make your weapon flips safe, because if they, you know, if they block the weapon flip and the Nuedama is still active, the Nuedama, the puffball that is, can, you know, basically stop them from punishing you. So he has a lot of tricky setups. He has a lot of interesting things. I would say that his biggest strength is his damage is quite good. His movement is phenomenal. He has an instant overhead, by the way, with off of backdash. He can do the air heavy chain, and it's an instant overhead that has great range. You see the range on that. So if they're blocking low, thinking that, you know, and he doesn't have the best lows, but he does have lows. You know, in this game it's a little, you know, scary. It's a little riskier to not block low because you have the pursuit attacks. You know, And another thing is that in the new game, there's no more there's no hop. So the way the buttons work out in this game is you have A, which is light, B, which is medium, C, which is kick, and D, which is your dedicated dodge button. Which you see, I can roll by holding down, back, and D. Down, forward, D is forward roll. Down D is like a, it's like a downward dodge, and then you have hops. And then back D is like a neutral hop. Forward D is it's a forward hop that can cross up your opponent. So Basara lost out on the hop, so he doesn't have like a side switch mix up. He used to be able to actually do this quite easily. Like, look at that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He could even confirm into weapon flip off that, which is, But yeah, the hop's no longer in the game, meaning that he did lose a bit of his movement options. But I don't think he's gonna get hit that badly in terms of the changes. Isen might actually really benefit his game, because if a Basara is playing a really in and they get that early lead, and it's like, the last game, they may as well just like pop Rage Explosion and just wait, because he can definitely turtle. He's not really meant to be a turtle, but he can definitely, like, when you have this space control, like, once you have this new Adama, you can just throw stuff out there and they just have to deal with it, So you can, like, look at that. That's a very easy confirm. He has actually one of the farthest reaching heavy slashes in the game. Like, look at this thing. This thing's amazing. It's obviously not the safest move in the world, but you can see right there, like, just the range on it. The crouching one is more of an anti-air, but you don't really want to use it as an anti-air. Like, and of course we already went over his jumping heavy slash. Even in general, like, this is definitely his air button. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was just like a quick sort of overview into Basara, what kind of character he is. If you have any questions, I'll definitely be down to show you guys some more. So hopefully you guys think hopefully you guys check him out when he's out in October. And I'm basically waiting for him, more or less. I'm kind of just shuffling around with a few characters until he's out. So right now, I'm putting up with Shiki, putting up with Jubei. Not really, feeling them the way I would feel him, but soon he'll be out. So if you guys are interested in Basara, let me know. I'll try to put out some more information for him. But this is just like a simple primer. So, alright guys, you have a good one, and stay based. This is Stalker signing out. Have a good night. Yeah, why not?